So something that I want to address, and I haven't really addressed it in previous parts of the course, I didn't want to get there, is that the default kind of prompt for all of these models is too verbose. I want my information more concise, it's like it said, I told it instead of taking reviews of function program, read the txt file. I just want to be like, okay, done. And we can get there. It doesn't need to say all this text. Time is money, and this is too long. So you can go in cursor in settings and cursor settings and go here to, I think it's features, general. You can put rules for AIs, or you can create a .cursorrules file. If you're working in a code base, I like to put .cursorrule files in the code base. And I'll put some hints about that. So it's like, okay, we're not using npm, we're using bun. That way, these instructions will always be fed to the AI whenever any request comes through. So if something holds true for everything in the project, you can do that. But for here, these are rules just for your clients, your cursor clients. And so I can just say, okay, follow. No, I'm just say, okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and say, be very concise when explaining, and be lazy when explaining. That's not how you spell it. Explaining your changes. No need to explain basic stuff, and write amazing code. And I mean, you can kind of get creative, so you can say you had an amazing 8 hours of sleep last night. Your sleep, what's it called? Your sleep score was 100. So, just to psych it up. And because, and this might sound crazy, and it's a bit, like a pseudoscience, but try it. It'll change the personality of the explanations, okay? So let's go ahead and see. Alright, so with that being said, we're going to go ahead and just generate a README file. So here's a README. It's very empty. And I'm just going to tell it, composer, generate a useful README file. Or generate an ideal README file for this project. And here's the thing. By default, either in chat or composer, if I were to send this, it wouldn't really know what to do because I'm only sending it the current tab, README. And it at least needs to know the code like index.ts or package.json to kind of know what's going on. If you just give it README, it's not really going to know what to do. So, actually, you know what? Let's find out what happens. It might actually read the package.json. I don't know. Let's see. It's probably going to do a terrible job. Okay, so yeah, so it looks like cursor was able to pass it some information so that it wasn't so bad because it knows about the file structure here. That's pretty great. And I mean, that's the great thing about cursor, imagine if you have to, imagine if you were using ChatGPT and you have to keep passing in things like that. That'd be really annoying. And I think that's a feature specifically from Composer. Chat would probably do a worse job. Let's find out. That's a great thing. We can repeat these experiments. Let's go to chat. New one. It's probably gonna do a terrible job. Let's find out. Yeah, see? So with chat, it doesn't really know. It's only going off analyze course reviews. That's it. So with Composer, it's able to intelligently give it some more context. If you want to just chat and not really make code changes, use chat. If you do want to be writing code and making changes, use Composer. Basically, it's a smarter version of it that has more context. So let's go ahead and do this again, but I'm going to press @ and there's a whole bunch of settings or options. There's like files, folders, code, web, docs, git, code base, and notepad. Okay, and what you can do is you can go ahead and you can navigate with arrows, and you can press enter if you wanted to, or you can just type like indexed and it'll kind of find it, index.ts. Let's go ahead and include the package JSON too. That's going to kind of help out. And let's go ahead and see. I'm not going to give it the ts config.json, but yeah, this should be good for now. Let's go ahead and see what happens. Yeah, it even does, it assumes we're using GitHub, and yeah, that's pretty good. How did the MIT license? Maybe Bun is the MIT license. I don't know. It's pretty nice. I'm just gonna delete the license part, but let's go ahead and see. Honestly, it's a better README than most projects, so that's pretty cool. Format code using prettier. Yeah, awesome. So you can see, like, this is not something, I can do this myself, right? And I could probably do a better job, but if it can do 80% as good as a job as a human in just a few seconds, then it's way better than the alternative, which is putting off creating a README until a month later. So this is great. I'm just gonna go ahead and save it. And I'll go ahead and show you this. So I'm gonna go to chat, and now I believe if I click, not click, but type commit, it'll go ahead and see the differences. Okay, so this is actually pretty powerful. It's gonna give it every line or every file that has a difference. That's why I started the Git repo earlier. So it's going to see that these lines got deleted from the README. Now these lines got added, and then the index.ts, no, not the index. There we go. In the index.ts, some things got deleted, some things got added, right? So I can just pass that as a context just by doing like commit, and well, it's not going to show it again because I did this commit diff of working state, right? And I can just say write a commit message. Okay, and and I can just modify it if I want, if I'm not happy with that. Like, write a commit message, like a boss, all lowercase, up to 20 words max. Boom. You see? So it's like, yeah, that's what I would do. That's what I would do. But so honestly, sometimes I forget what changes I've made. It's bad practice in like proof of concept repos, but I forget what changes I made, and I'll use this to find out, like, hey, what did I do since the last time I committed? And you know what? Let's ship it. Let's send it. Git commit and paste. Oh, I didn't add it. I didn't add the stuff. Okay. Git add readme in the index, and now we just do this again. Okay, perfect. So